everyone, and welcome to our latest Discord exclusive Angry Astronaut Q&A, where I'm with my angry advocates who have kindly joined me to have a bit of a discussion about all matters of space policy and this channel and whatever else they want to ask questions about. I'm here with my Blue Origin coffee cup that I am looking forward to launching as soon as I possibly can, as soon as I get to 90,000 subscribers. So welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. And I am more than happy to start taking questions or just if you have something on your mind. And I know that at least one person does not have a mic. So I've got that on there as well. And like I say, I'm always happy to talk. So it really doesn't matter. I could give a damn. I could start ranting and raving. First of all, what does everybody think about the whole get together? I'm thinking about having two meetups, one in Europe and one in Texas, which they kind of regard themselves as their own country anyway. So I'm in Boca Chica. How does everybody feel about that? And if you were to like that sort of thing, when would make the most sense? Anybody have any opinions on that? Oh, I do have a question that just came up. What do I expect for the upcoming Starliner launch that just came in? Some folks asked their questions via text rather than their voices on it, which is fine by me. I don't care. What I expect is for things to go smoothly. NASA has been heavily involved in this entire process at this point over the last 18 months. So I think that they're finally going to execute this smoothly. If they do not, I think that NASA's got some tough choices to make. I really do. I think that they really need to seriously consider sticking with Crew Dragon for as long as it takes until the Sierra Nevada Dream Chaser is ready for service. Because I just did a video on Sierra Nevada and Axiom and such. And the Dream Chaser's 85% ready to be human rated anyway. So they really aren't that far away from being prepared. And I think that if they're unsuccessful, I really think that NASA should kick them to the curb. They've had more than adequate opportunities at this point. Yeah, it's a waste of money, but government agencies waste money all the time, and it's better to waste money on something that works than something that doesn't. So that's just my opinion. All right. Any other opinions on the get together? Feel free to put your hand up if you want to. Or we're all in this group. So all you have to do is unmute yourself to talk. That's all you have to do. And like I say, I know it's not an easy thing, especially since you know that this is being recorded and people are going to be listening to it all around the world. I'm one of, I guess that it takes a certain ego to want people to hear me around the world. It's a certain type of personality. So yeah, I get it. If you prefer to type in your questions, I'm totally fine with that either way. But anyway, yeah, I am excited about the prospect of of meeting up in Boca Chica sometime close to the stacked launch, depending, of course, on how that goes and how much time elapses before they're ready for something along those lines. Getting somewhere close to that, it'd be a hell of a thing to even be able to watch that. All together from South Padre Island. I think that would be an astonishing event indeed. And then there are some cool things going on in Europe as well. I do plan to go to Britain for a couple of different things. So meet up there for my European supporters is something that I would be very much in support of as well. So yeah, definitely in favor of that. Just to be clear, is anybody having problems with the unmute? Just want to make sure that this isn't some technical problem. No problem. I am completely sympathetic to that. No big deal. Just type in your questions, and I will be perfectly happy either way. So, first of all, once again, let me say thank you so much for being a part of this happy family that we have, the Angry Advocates. I am extremely pleased to and honored that you guys support this channel the way that you do, and really, especially, what you do, and financially at the very least. That alone does a lot in terms of my ability to get new content. In my latest video today, you're going to be seeing some of that new content, a flyover of the space shuttle landing strip that is going to be used by the Sierra Nevada Dream Chaser now. They've secured the use of that. And of course, they're going to be landing the Dream Chaser in Spaceport Cornwall as well. So I have this whole video is about low Earth orbit. It's a follow up to my previous video that I did about competition on getting to Mars. Now it's a competition for low Earth orbit, and the ISS it's reaching the end of its usable life, and the plans to replace it, the plans of having a privatized space station, well, they're there, but they're not being supported, and that is a really serious issue. It's an issue that needs to be resolved, and it needs to be resolved quickly. The earliest that we are going to see any private modules going up from any company is from Axiom, and that's going to be taking place in 2024. They have raised a substantial amount of money. Their company is now known as a unicorn, which means that they've got over $1 billion in revenues, and they have quite a lot of operating capital right now. According to their latest balance sheets that I was having a look at while I was making the video, looks to be close to $500 million in operating capital. So yeah, they're looking very promising. I'm thinking Axiom is what disappoints me tremendously is the fact that the Congress is not throwing any seed money at them, like 15% of what they were supposed to according to NASA. What's the good of these competitions for government support if the government doesn't support it, for God's sake? And instead they throw money at the SLS. They increased funding for the SLS instead, which is utterly ridiculous. Low Earth orbit is something that is important too, and yeah, it does need to be handed over to the private sector, but there should be some seed money of some kind thrown into there, and thus far what's been put in is pathetic. And yet, in spite of that, Axiom is doing extremely well. I'm not sure about Sierra Nevada, but Axiom is doing extremely well at getting their modules into space on time and on schedule, which is a pretty good thing given the fact that China already has their first module in orbit and are moving forward very swiftly. I mean, once the ISS is decommissioned, I think the last thing we want is one nation to have a monopoly on LEO and everything that can be done there. Is it? Thank you for letting me know that. Yeah, where did this comment pop up? Oh, okay. Yes, I've got that. Yeah, okay. So now it just came popping up. Oh boy, that is interesting. I thought that that was in reference to something else. Boy, that is brand that's obviously very new news. And well, there are things that they can do, obviously, but expected to re-enter Earth's atmosphere sometime between Sunday evening and early Monday. Okay, well, thank you very much for letting me know about that. Wow, what a disaster! Boy, I'm clueless as far as that's concerned. Geez, that's a grim one. Okay, so it isn't the same station. Yeah, that's the first space station. Okay. I was about to freak out and I was like, really? That's coming down that fast? Okay. So it's Tiangong. Okay. Gotcha. So that'll be coming down really soon. That's gonna be fun. And once again, it's going to be a an entertaining live stream. Boy, maybe I should do a live stream on that as to when it's coming down and where and that sort of thing, since it's going to be happening so soon. That is a rather frightening thing to say the least. All right, guys. Don't be shy. Anybody want to add something to the conversation right now, or do you have a question? All you have to do is unmute yourselves. Just thought I'd give it a moment. No big deal. Like I say, we'll get to that point. Right now, if you guys are content to listen to me rant, then I am more than happy to do that. There's quite a lot to rant about. Really, in making this latest video that I've been working on, I've really gotten an impression of all of the progress that these companies have been making as of late. It's been really amazing. For example, anybody know that Sierra Nevada has been engaged to develop a nuclear thermal drive? Well, they have. They're part of a new project going forward as well. I actually didn't know that they were getting in that mix. They're not part of the NASA awards, but nevertheless, nuclear thermal propulsion is something that Sierra Nevada is working on, and propulsion has been part of their game for quite some time. Okay, so I'm just checking out here. Any other questions that are coming up over here? Some links coming up on the Ask Your Questions with nuclear thermal and that sort of thing. So All right, so we have eight other people, I guess. Well, let's see something.
Hello, Angry. Are you getting this?
Yes, I am. I am. Hello.
Hey, uh, do you think that any of the billionaires like Musk or Bezos would actually funnel money into Axiom or any other space station, or are their sites just permanently fixed towards the moon and Mars?
I think Musk would, because the Axiom has four, as you probably know, they have four flights arranged through SpaceX to go to the ISS using Crew Dragon, and I think it's become pretty obvious that that the Crew Dragon is the vehicle of choice for Axiom. So as a result, there's a lot of potential business that SpaceX can make off of Axiom and their station. So yeah, if it comes down to it, I think that Elon might very well funnel money into them. I'm not even sure if it's necessary though. They have some very, very big investors. But yeah, if they needed help, I think Elon would help them. Not so much SNC. Sierra Nevada has made it very clear that they're a ULA shop, and they're also owned by billionaires. So I think that they kind of have their funding lined up. But thanks for the question. Any others? Otherwise, I can just keep ranting on. And once again, speaking of Bezos, I mean, he's talked about, utilizing the second stage of New Glenn for a space station. And there is a tremendous amount of cubic meters of space inside that second stage. It's a great idea. But once again, where are we with this idea? Has he even mentioned this idea anytime recently? I mean, that's just what bothers me about them is just, they're plotting speed when it comes to what they're trying to accomplish in spite of the enormous amount of revenue behind them. It's just it's kind of depressing. And I got some aerial shots, by the way, that are going to be present on Discord and on my exclusive content. I got some aerial shots of Blue Origin's facilities. They are colossal. They are absolutely huge. They actually dwarf the Kennedy Space Center visitors area. They are gigantic. And it's like, what are you guys doing there? I mean, from what I've seen from their interior work, all they have is one mock up of New Glenn. I mean, you build all of these facilities. What are you up to? And that bothers me a little bit. Well, more than a little bit. We'll put it that way. All right. Like I say, feel free to chime in anytime. I'm thrilled to hear from you.
Are
Hello?
you hearing me?
Yes, yes, I can.
Okay, my audio there wasn't working. Anyways,
Oh,
what do you think of disposable usage for Starship? Like the idea for a 9-meter telescope using Starship as the body.
an interesting idea. I never even thought of that. I think you
Like,
could make an amazing telescope with that. Yeah,
it
I
would
mean,
basically be a Hubble just scaled up.
yep. I see no reason not to do that. I think that's a fantastic concept. And we do need a replacement for Hubble. I mean, yeah, we do have some very good stuff going up at this point, but at the same time, something that gives us these magnificent visual images, this sort of stuff that sparks the imagination. Yeah, we do need a replacement, and that sounds like a really efficient way of replacing it, very inexpensive comparatively speaking. Um, yeah, great idea. I love it. Uh,
It actually
never-
beat out ground-based telescopes on price, most likely.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I think it would be less expensive.
On the way
Starship
back
is
to
going
work.
to be cheap. I'm sorry?
Well, I got to get back to work, so.
Oh, sorry about that. You're a busy guy. I've noticed that that's the case with you a lot. So all the
Yep.
best, and thank you so much for participating.
Yeah, I'll still be on audio, just not talking.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, Starship is going to change everything, isn't it? I mean, there are so many things that you can do with that kind of fairing and that kind of, that many cubic meters of space that you just can't do with any other rocket. It is going to be the complete game changer, which is probably why Elon's working so hard on it. It's not just about getting to Mars. It's about having complete dominance over our future in space. Even though he has said it's not about deploying more satellites than everybody else, and I believe him. I think that, things like that are, unimportant. They're, kind of pathetic goals in his mind. I think that he wants to change the future of the human species by making us multiplanetary. I think that that is his biggest goal. And I compare the guy to Howard Hughes a lot. I mean, I see the two as being very similar. Howard Hughes, yeah, he did a lot to make a profit, but at the same time, a lot of what he did just because nobody had ever done it before, because he wanted to push back the boundaries of aviation technology purely for the sake of doing it, purely for the sake of advancing engineering for the good of the human race, not necessarily to make a profit. And I see the two as being very similar. Unfortunately, I also kind of see them being similar in terms of their mental stability. Elon is an eccentric individual. I hope eccentricity is as far as it goes with him compared to Hughes, who definitely went off the rails. We'll see. Time and history will tell. But nevertheless, I think that the two are very similar. Anybody else? I'm at your disposal. Well, there's in terms of recent news, things that have been extremely exciting. The Russian jewel that was just sent up, the Nauka, that is in many ways exciting and in so many ways a deep disappointment. It's going up 13 years late. It is the largest module that the Russians have contributed to the ISS. It has all kinds of stuff on it in addition to a full suite of scientific equipment. It has additional crew quarters. It has a new oxygen processing system. It has a system for recycling urine into drinking water, to make the space station more self-sufficient. And that's also going to be important when we're going to Mars. There's going to be no really effective way to take enough water to support, at least a large number of people on a 6-month journey without a lot of recycling involved. And by the way, that the last I heard, that module is in trouble. Has anybody heard anything different lately? The last time the last news I saw on it was the fact that it was having a hard time reaching the appropriate orbit, and there was some question as to whether or not it was going to be able to dock successfully. Anybody know if that's been resolved? And you can type that in too if you want to. They are able to raise Nauka's orbit and it's on course for rendezvous later in the week. I am really, really happy to hear that. Thanks, Darth. Appreciate you telling me that. And I think they use their secondary engines in order to be able to accomplish that. So that's great news, because that is a very, very useful module. And who knows, maybe once the Russians have so much committed to the ISS, they may change their philosophy a little bit about cooperating with the rest of the world, at least as far as space is concerned. Starliner glitch. Starship Hubble would also be able to change orbits, be refueled, go to lunar orbit, deorbit itself, land when completed. Yeah, all very good points, Starliner glitch. That's a huge idea, really. Starship Hubble. I love that idea. Like I say, some of the best ideas for videos come out of this group of people I have here on Discord. I'm very grateful to all of you, as I say, not just for your support financially, but also just for the brain power, the sheer brain power that I have here on Discord. Some really amazing people with a lot of background in spaceflight. So once again, I am at your disposal. So yeah, one of the reasons why I was saddened, even if Nalka is successful, even if even if it docks and everything works out perfectly, the sad thing is, of course, is the ISS. It's just reaching the end of its usable life. And so it's only going to be a limited amount of time before it's, no longer going to be usable. That's tragic. I mean, it was supposed to go up in 2007, 2008, sometime in that vicinity. Uh, Talk about a serious delay in scheduling. That was, just an awful thing. And the fact that the ISS, something that has been a symbol for international cooperation, international collaboration and peace for all of these years, for over 2 decades, and now it's about to become a thing of the past, and it's going to be replaced by a Chinese station that is, simply a symbol of power exclusively for the People's Republic of China, and private space stations that are based out of the United States. I mean, this international collaboration, this whole environment that we used to have is going to start to disintegrate. I think that the Chinese will be more than happy to let the Indians come on board, for example. They've had a long-term relationship with India, although they've gone to war with them a couple of times, but nevertheless, they have put an open invitation to them. I think the cosmonauts will be allowed to go on that station. And I think that any private space stations that we put up from Sierra Nevada and from Axiom, there's going to be an open invitation to astronauts from across the planet to go to those stations. So I think the environment of international collaboration is going to remain in place. I just think that it's not going to be the same as it used to be. And that is simply tragic. It is really unfortunate. And who knows what that means for the future? Is there going to be conflict? Is this going to go from friendly competition to something not so friendly? Hard to tell. But it does concern me, and it's one of the reasons why I made this 3-part series. Part 2 of which, by the way, is going to be coming out as soon as I am through with this broadcast. So keep that in mind. Once again, the floor is open. And you can type in questions as well as say what you like. That's up to you. Or you can just keep listening to me. I'm good with
Hello
it.
again, Angry.
Hello?
I would like to point out that the Mir lasted for about 15 years before it was deorbited, and we've gotten at least another 5 years out of the ISS than we got out of Mir. and we anticipate at least another 5 years worth of use out of the ISS. So it has provided way more than any previous space station that we've ever put into it.
The magnificent success. I agree. That's even makes me sadder. It makes me sad when a good thing comes to an end. You know what I mean? I mean, regardless of how long we were able to keep the thing going. And Mir, by the way, I regard as being a pretty successful project as well. And I think it would have stayed in orbit longer if the Soviet Union had not collapsed. But still, yeah, the ISS has been an unqualified success. The only thing that I have a problem with as far as the ISS is concerned is it's been undermanned. Because the shuttle was retired in 2011, there were fewer astronauts on board than it was capable of sustaining. We're up to a full crew again now, but look at how many years it's taken us to do that. And that's unfortunate because I think a lot more could have been accomplished if we had been able to do so. Hello, Mrs. Warhawk. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Jordan. How's it going?
It's going fantastic. I really appreciate you jumping on with us.
No problem. God, you look so good.
Well, that's very kind of you to say. I do appreciate that.
You're welcome.
My son says that I look a little younger than a Tyrannosaurus Rex or something like that. I think that's how he puts it. It's easy for 15-year-olds to look at things that way.
Oh, goodness. You have more energy than I do. A 15-year-old watching one would kill me right now.
Yeah, my kids are awesome. I definitely enjoy the time I spend with them. There's no question about it. They are amazing, quite amazing. So, but thanks for joining. And any questions, any comments you might have, be more than happy to say. Or if there's something that you would like to ask of the rest of the community, feel free to do so now.
I'm thinking maybe we could have a little bit of a fundraiser, maybe as soon as we can, for the rest of the money for the cat.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Only because they stopped sending me unemployment. I got 3 months of unemployment in Oregon, and I've never applied before in my life, and they cut me off.
I know what that's like. I was on unemployment myself, and fortunately, my channel took off at exactly the right time. Otherwise, I'd be in some trouble. So yeah, I know what you mean. So what kind of funding are we looking for? Let's set a goal. What do you need?
$500, maybe $600.
Between $500 and $600. Okay, guys. So that I am officially setting out a fundraising goal. I'm gonna go online, find some sort of. I'm trying to think. I know that there's quite a number of different websites that allow you to contribute to. Or do you have one set up already? Do you have something set up already for a charitable donation thing?
I have PayPal. That's the only thing I did is I did get a PayPal.
Okay. Yeah, what I'll do then is I'll go ahead and share your PayPal and
Okay.
and then we'll go ahead and see what we can do about fundraising for that. And for those of you who don't know, Mrs. Warhawk was an amazing contributor to this channel right from the beginning, right when I had 100 subscribers, 75 subscribers, something like that. He was a massive contributor to this channel, and unfortunately passed away a while ago. And so, let's do what we can for her, definitely. All in support of that.
I sent my email link to your phone.
What's that?
I sent my email address to your telephone.
Oh, okay. And you have your PayPal attached to that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. There is a GoFundMe.com as well. You might want to go to that. That might be a little easier. if you could set up a GoFundMe.com, just check that out and set that up, because if people can contribute that way, and then it's officially going to a charitable cause, and I think it's like tax deductible and things like that if they go that route, you might have more success. But
Sounds good.
absolutely, that's what we'll do. ASN always has the solutions.
He does. And I actually have Angry, if you would like to come to Mike's memorial service, you are the closest person. I don't have a time, but I will have at least 2 to 3 weeks notice. I will send you an invitation.
I'm honored. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, as you know, I've taken 3 trips lately. However, I do have relatives in Oregon, so I think I can probably make that work.
Sounds good. I have his brother Dustin is gonna let me know as soon as it's done. We haven't received his remains yet.
Jeez, okay. All
And
right. Well, I know you're going through some very tough times right now. I feel for you. I can't, I can relate to what you're going through to some degree, but not entirely. And so all I can say is you have my deepest sympathies,
thank you.
and we'll do everything we can for you. Absolutely.
Well, my life is way better, and my heart is way better for having just known the man.
Well, me too. Me too. He was a huge contributor to this channel, and just a huge contributor to me personally. He gave me a lot of encouragement to get this channel going. So yeah, he something else, something else. Thank you for joining us and sharing all of that with us. I really do appreciate it. And like I say, we will do everything we can to make this work for you.
Okay, on with Space Talk.
On with Space Talk. So, do we have any other folks who want to contribute, either on the Ask Your Questions live, or we can, feel free to speak up, or I can keep talking because I'm good at that.
Yes. Hey, what do you guys think about Jeff Bezos going to space? I mean, I thought it was a huge, just, advertisement for Amazon.
It was that, yeah. I would say that there's a lot of things. I did a video about it where I said that he really shouldn't have gone until he had his house in order. That was my opinion as far as that was concerned, because they don't have the BE4 engines necessary for ULA to send up their newest and most important rocket. They haven't gotten those done anywhere near on schedule. So Blue Origin is putting a lot of jobs at risk. They're putting a very important American space corporation at risk. And here he is going off on a joyride. I think he should have sent up Wally Funk. That would have been fine. Maybe even his brother, maybe one of his employees. But I think he should have waited until he got, his house in order with Blue Origin. I think that would have sent a better message. That's my opinion.
I agree.
Anybody else have an opinion on that? I know we've kind of discussed it a little bit in the past. It has been under a great deal of discussion lately. One thing that was pointed out to me yesterday was the fact that Richard Branson also has some haters, I think, over in Great Britain. He's done some things to evade taxes and such, the things that billionaires do and that sort of thing. So I have kind of mixed feelings, I guess, about him. But the one thing that I like that he did right from the start, the moment he touched down, is to go up on stage and say that he was going to start a program, a charity to allow people to go into space for free. and to enter it. By the way, has everybody entered? Because I sure have. You can enter for free if you want to. I think that would be an amazing experience, and the more that this charity accumulates, the more this goes on and on. The more we can have at least one seat available on VSS Unity available to somebody on the planet, for nothing, for no charge at all. And it doesn't require a whole lot of money to be raised to do that. So I think that would be quite an exciting thing.
I think
So
I'm
that
too
kind of-
old to be shooting myself into space.
Yeah, it would be a thrilling thing, no doubt. I would definitely. I have to admit, I don't think I could resist the temptation, even though I do believe that the Virgin Galactic solution is more dangerous than the Blue Origin solution. I think it's also just so much fun. The whole idea, let's drop, from a plane and before the engines engage, and then just shoot up. I mean, an F-16 fighter can climb 50,000 feet a minute, going flat out. And this thing was climbing at over 100,000 feet per minute. I can't imagine how that would feel. That acceleration, that thrill would be an amazing thing. And then when you get to the end of it, then you get to float, and then plummet back down and then glide in for a perfect 3-point landing. The whole thing sounds like a lot of fun to me. Much more fun than, as I call it, the 10-minute suborbital bungee jump. Yeah, I mean, going up on a rocket's fun and all that sort of thing. And, anybody who would enjoy it, I certainly wouldn't, hold it against them. But at the same time, it just doesn't seem as cool. You go up, you go down. Whereas, with Unity, it's more of a roller coaster ride. You get dropped and then you ascend rapidly and then you plummet down and then the wings are deployed and you glide the rest of the way. I don't know. It seems to have all the combination of a rocket ride and a high performance aircraft. And that is pretty cool. I like that idea. And also the fact that they intend to eventually turn it into a suborbital form of transportation. That is incredibly cool as well. How about everybody else? Anybody else have anything they'd like to say about that? And once again,
I have a question
go
about
ahead.
Branson. Yeah, he's not making his money off the back of employees like SpaceX and Amazon, right?
I don't know. I can't say for certain. What like their, if they get 10-minute bathroom breaks or any of that kind of stuff. The things that Amazon is well known for. I'm sorry. Did somebody else have something to say? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I heard somebody else. The one thing I do know is that British labor laws are very different. And so on people on Virgin Airlines and the other Virgin related companies, there are, a number of benefits that they get by law that American employees do not get. Like, for example, the average British worker gets 5 weeks worth of vacation or holiday per year, 5 or 6 weeks, which is the average American worker gets 1 to 2 weeks. So one thing I do know is that regardless of what his personal attitudes might be, those who work for his airlines and that sort of thing, they get certain benefits that folks at Amazon definitely don't. And I had a great time on Virgin Airlines, by the way. That was my favorite airline experience of all time, and my son felt that way too. My son loves curry, and we had curry for dinner going transatlantic. Never had anything like that before on airline food, so that was good stuff as well. I don't know. I like their rail system supposedly stinks. but their airlines, good stuff. Definitely good stuff. Okay. So about 15 minutes, guys. Do you have, like I say, any other questions or comments? I am at your disposal. So, and hold on, let me check, see if anything else has been typed. Yeah, oh, yes, here we go. Here, when will Branson rename his company from Virgin Galactic to Chat Galactic? That's a good question. That's kind of funny. Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, this is the best response I can give as far as that is concerned. But nevertheless, I think it's good that they, keep the Virgin name attached to this organization. It ties Great Britain, even though it's an American-based company and all the parts are made in the United States and all that. I do believe that his objective is to slowly start moving some of their operations, manufacturing, etc., over to Great Britain. I think the fact that they have Spaceport Cornwall opening up for Virgin Orbit, that suggests to me that there is going to be some investment in the British economy as well as in the American economy. That's just a guess. All right. Any other questions, comments, etc.? As I say, I'm at your disposal. Other than that, we'll be happy to keep talking. Lot going on in Boca Chica right now, by the way. Of course, the recent static fire and all that. I am very interested to see when they're going to have the full-fledged static fire, 31, 32 engines, whatever that's going to be. I think that's just going to be nuts. And it'll be a very good indication of what the stack launch is going to be like when they static fire all of those engines. That's going to be something that's pretty damn crazy. I'd be interested to see whether or not a 32 engine static fire might shatter a window or two. Excuse me. That would be something else. So we'll see. And I'm also interested to see when it's going to happen. I'm curious as to whether or not I'm going to be needing to take a new trip out to Boca Chica, because that could indeed be happening very soon, depending on Elon's timeline. So we'll see. We'll see as far as that's concerned. We have a question from Adrian. What about the first stage with a cargo cutout in the upper stage? Cargo cutout in the upper stage. I'm sorry. I guess I need further clarification on that. I'm ignorant of some terminology. It's you mean in terms of sending it up without cargo to make the process easier? Okay, we got some clarification coming in. Just one moment here. Thank you very much, Adrian, for clarifying that for me. Like I say, there are some things, some terminology that go by me. I'm sure I heard this at some point. It's a picture for a picture of a cutout for a for a cargo area. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, that I believe that.
That's exactly what I was referring to.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the clarification. I am sorry. I would like to say that I keep my eyes glued on everything that happens at Boca, but I actually don't. It's not that I don't care about that. The fact of the matter is always on this channel have done my best to keep up with everything that's happening in space flight with every company and every new development, regardless of whether that development be at Boca Chica or at the Cape or at Spaceport Cornwall or up in Scotland or in Italy. So it makes it tough sometimes. There are people who really have these very in-depth and detailed knowledge about, like for example, Scott Manley did a show about these hot gas thrusters for the booster stage for the Super Heavy. Very interesting episode to say the least, and it was some speculation that he was making. So sometimes folks are examining a lot of these photos on a regular basis, making some conclusions about what all of this might mean. I kind of, as far as that's concerned, my attention starts to get more glued when we start having static fires and when we start having launch dates and things like that. That's when my attention starts, going this way. Or if there's a new press announcement of some kind that comes out of some company, like for example, what I did on Axiom in Sierra Nevada, there was a whole lot of press releases from them that I had not kept up with regularly. So once again, I do apologize for that, but at the same time, and that's another reason for me to get back to Boca, I suppose, and check a lot of that out because I do know people who are there. So I'll tell you what, I'll make this commitment to you. I will make contact with the folks that I know who are there and get some information for you. Hopefully, some inside information on what's happening at the moment. So hope that's fair enough. All right, let's see. Do we have any other typed questions, or do we? Have you seen the Mars base design built into the side of cliff faces? Yes, I have, Starliner Glitch. I saw that design a while ago, actually, and yeah, it's fascinating. I can't tell you how many times I've considered putting that into one of my videos. There is a very good reason to put these things in the side of cliff faces. Number one, radiation protection. And it's not just protection from above. The Curiosity, anytime the Curiosity has gone close to a cliff face, the radiation levels have plummeted tremendously. So anything that's either in a cliff face or close to a cliff face is going to be protected from radiation. But the second advantage is if it's built into the side of a cliff, that means you get to see out. You get natural lighting. You get to see this magnificent landscape that you traveled all this distance to see. And not only that, you probably also made the decision to spend the rest of your life there. So living underground is far less appealing to me than living in the side of a cliff face. So I totally agree with that. Yep, I've got a lot of the same pictures. ASN is posting a bunch of those right now, and yeah, definitely I will. I'll check that out. I think that that's definitely something that will go into a future video. So thank you very much for bringing that to my attention. All right, guys, we still have about 7 minutes left. Once again, as always, I'm at your disposal right here and feel free to ask me anything that you like, and I'll give you my take on it.
We have a question from a young lady who happens to be at my house.
Okay, go ahead.
She's wondering why you're wearing sunglasses.
I'm sorry, what?
She was wondering why you're wearing sunglasses.
Originally, that was part of my persona to hide my identity from the people who want to kill me for all the awful things I say about their companies, which is sort of a joke.
I told her you were very handsome, and she said, tell him to take his glasses off.
All right, so yeah, there's my eyes.
Oh, he does look
So
like
there
Mike.
you go.
A little bit.
You look like Mike.
Do
You look.
I?
You look
Well,
like my
well,
Mike.
Well, I'm honored. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. In fact, I'll leave them off for you for the rest of the episode. That'll be fun. These cannot be used or posted without written consent. By the way, once these images of these cliff face designs for Martian habitats that have recently been posted on Discord. So keep that in mind. Those cannot be reposted without permission. However, if you want to see them, just become part of Discord. And keep in mind, this is being recorded and will be released shortly. And also, as far as future videos are concerned, as soon as this is over, I will be releasing my latest video about the space race in low Earth orbit. So be ready for that as well. But we still have about 5 minutes to go. So, any other questions, either typed or speak up, feel free, or I'll keep ranting. Your choice. People like to hear me rant. that's the nearest guess that I can make, and that's fine by me as far as that's concerned. Once again, this if there are things that that I can be the most annoyed about is at the moment is just how disconcerted, or not disconcerted, but just discombobulated our whole approach to space is going right now. I mean, yeah, we're going back to the moon to stay, right? Sure. How are we supposed to go back to the moon to stay if we don't have any way to land on the moon? We got this. Okay, guess what? That was not approved. We have Starship, but guess what? That's being held up in legal proceedings and the GAO and all that. And then the latest budget puts more money into SLS. What the hell? SLS and Orion cannot land on the moon. So how exactly are we supposed to accomplish a 2024 landing on the moon? Whereas the People's Republic of China, they have designs in the works to not only get to cislunar space, but also land there. So, I mean, come on, guys, what is happening here? Why continue to invest more money in SLS when SLS and Orion cannot land on the moon? More money needs to go into the landing system. I mean, that's just one example of many of how messed up NASA, messed up the government especially is right now when it comes to priorities. It's absurd. And like, yeah, it's fun. Yeah, another $25 billion going into defense. Yeah, which is the entire Artemis budget. It is, in fact, the entire annual budget of NASA, period. So, and I believe in a strong defense. I do. But I'll tell you something. We are being played for fools. We really are. China, they're not doing all this stuff. I'm telling you, not exclusively for peaceful purposes and for scientific achievement. They are going to LEO, they are going to cislunar space, and they are going to Mars for a reason. And there are advantages to all of these things. If they dominate LEO, they dominate all of the scientific development, engineering development that can be done there. If they go to the moon, obviously there are huge advantages there as well. If they go to Mars, it is a lot easier for them to mine the asteroid belt. They can dominate the solar system while we just keep mucking about here on Earth. It's ridiculous. And there are few things that get me more pissed off than that. Okay, guys, one more minute. I will allow one more question if somebody wants to ask it. Space is the ultimate High ground, said Dante. You know what? I think that's a good way to close. Space is the ultimate high ground. There are so many strategic military and tactical military advantages that can be gained by controlling low Earth orbit and cislunar space. And China understands that. They're going after it. In the meantime, we throw $25 billion extra into the military. It is utterly absurd. And as long as things continue to be absurd, I'm going to continue to stay pissed off, and I'm going to continue releasing the same kind of videos that I've always released. So until our government starts getting it through their head that space matters, it matters a hell of a lot. And if we realize this too late, then we will no longer be the dominant superpower on this planet. Instead, an oligarchy, a totalitarian government, they're going to be the new superpower. Until we realize that that's our future, if we don't start doing something about this, I urge all of you to stay angry about space.